How will I know if I have a food intolerance? What are the key symptoms to look out for? This is JJ Virgin, 4-time New York Times bestselling author, celebrity nutrition expert, and fitness Hall of Famer. I've been on a lifelong quest for answers to the toughest health questions. And now I'm sharing what I found with you. Welcome to Ask the Health Expert. Georgia from Instagram asks, how will I know if I have a food intolerance? What are the key symptoms to look out for? Oh, Georgia, this is my favorite subject. Thanks so much. I will be right back to list them out for you and then what the heck you should do about it and why it happens in the first place. Stay with me. Hey, it's JJ here. And if you like my show, you are going to love Everyday Wellness with my friend, Cynthia Thurlow. Imagine learning how to make simple changes to your everyday life that will result in big changes in your overall wellness and long-term health. Cynthia is a mom of all boys, just like me, a wife, nurse practitioner, and an intermittent fasting and nutrition expert. And she's had the honor of interviewing some of the biggest names in the health and wellness space, including Dr. Jason Fung, Dave Asprey, Wim Hof, Dr. Kate Shanahan, and me. And I was recently on her podcast, and guess what we talked about? Why your body's not a bank account, it's a chemistry lab. Yep, surprising. Check out this clip. Body is not a bank account. Mm-hmm. It's a chemistry lab. And all of these things, food is information, exercise is information, stress is information. All of these things are information that ultimately will make the difference between your body burning fat or storing it. Now, if you're looking for expert information on women's health, intermittent fasting, and science-backed practical information to improve your overall well-being, this is the podcast for you. Check it out at followcynthia.com. That's FOLLOWCYNTHIA.com. Okay, so a food intolerance. So I wrote The Virgin Diet, which is how food intolerance can be, the real cause of weight gain. Also, a whole lot of other things. And it all happened because I was teaching how to use a food sensitivity test to doctors for them to be able to use this in their office. And what we found was when they used this in their office, people would walk in and they'd be complaining about these things: joint pain, headaches, moodiness, brain fog, gas and bloating, skin problems. They'd have autoimmune diseases, cravings. They couldn't lose weight. Those were the most classic things that I saw. And these doctors were saying. So what we would do is we would do a food sensitivity test. And then the results took about 3 weeks to come back. And the results would come back. And I would work through this with the doctor, teaching them how to get the clients, the patients off these foods. And within a week, it was crazy. When you pulled these foods out, they would come back, and the interesting side effect was weight loss. But the big thing was, oh my gosh, my skin cleared up. My joint pain's gone. My headaches are gone. My fatigue is gone. All those things I just talked about. And I forgot to mention fatigue, like food. And so I always say people now come for the weight loss in the Virgin Diet, but they stay because they finally found the foods that they can love to eat because the foods love them back, right? So what is food intolerance? And what was interesting there was this result would take 3 weeks to come back. What I started to notice, having looked at hundreds of tests and then talked to doctors so that I could literally get the input from thousands of tests, is that the same foods always showed up. Gluten was a different thing that we would look at. So that was on its own, but it can create leaky gut or food intolerances. Food intolerances happen because of something called leaky gut. That's where your gut gets more permeable than it should be. Food that's not, food gets out into circulation where it shouldn't be. Your body launches an immune attack, builds up immune complexes because it's something you're eating a little bit every day, and starts to create all those symptoms. Pull the foods out, get rid of the immune complexes, lower the antibodies, and voila, you feel better. And the average person, as I put them through the Virgin Diet, lost 7 pounds in 7 days, which was crazy, and kept it off. Even better. So gluten was one of the big causes of leaky gut, also big causes of inflammation. But the big things that would show up in this specific type of test were dairy and eggs were top, and then corn, soy, and peanuts. So I knew that gluten, dairy, eggs, corn, soy, peanuts were problems. And so I started just saying, you know what, in the 3 weeks I'm waiting for the test, I'll just put them on this diet, the virgin diet. And then when they come back, I'll tweak it. But I didn't need to because they came back and I discovered that you're your own best chemistry lab. Like you could go back in there and you're the detective and you can, after you've gone through 3 weeks, you've given yourself a chance to reset and activate what I'm calling your intuitive GPS. Then you've calmed it down. Your body can hear. You know, they talk about intuitive eating, but you've got to be able to hear the right messages. Otherwise, you're going to fall prey to all of the addictive foods out there created by food manufacturers. And that's not intuitive eating. That's addiction, right? So we've done this. Now you can check in and see, well, I made one mistake in that first go round, which I fixed before I did the virgin diet because I didn't pull out sugar and artificial sweeteners. And boy, if you don't pull them out, guess what people eat? More of that. So I also realized that fructose makes your gut leakier. So it's contributing to leaky gut. And of course, artificial sweeteners and sugar can really mess up your gut microbiome. So all of these things mattered. So here's the deal. Any of those symptoms and more can show that you've got leaky gut. There are tests for this, but truthfully, the best test of all and the best starting place is to pull those foods out, give yourself time to detox and heal that gut and reset, and then go back and check in because a food sensitivity test is going to show you how reactive. The more reactive, the leakier your gut. A leaky gut can happen at any point. Things like gluten and sugar and fructose and artificial sweeteners, GMOs, stress, pain medications. There's a whole lot of things that can contribute to leaky gut. You really want to make sure that you are checking in and you know which foods work for you and which foods don't, and that you're doing things regularly to keep your gut in check, both by managing stress, by doing healing foods and foods that help rebuild the gut microbiome, things like resistant starch and great fibers and fermented foods, and that you're avoiding the most common food intolerances. All right. Hope that helped. Now, if you've got questions, I've got answers. Leave them on Instagram. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the show, go to subscribe2jj.com. Thanks for being with me. Bye. This is JJ with Ask the Health Expert. I do this 5 times a week, so make sure you never miss a show by going to subscribe2jj.com.